have worked with 39 entrepreneurs who are making either six figure or seven figures in last 5 years, and I discovered something that nobody talks about. They don't get rich from what they know, they get rich from what they can do. And today I'm breaking down the 5 skills that separates the wealthy from everyone else. Here's what wild about rich people. They are not smarter than you. They don't work harder than you. They don't even have better ideas than you. But they have something most people completely overlook. They have developed skills that directly create wealth. While everyone else is chasing secrets, shortcuts, watching courses, wealthy people are quietly building capabilities that make money inevitable. Today I'm revealing the 5 skills that actually matters. And here's the best part, you can start developing any of this today for free. Let's talk a bit about skill versus knowledge. You need to understand the difference between having knowledge and actually having skills. Knowledge is something that like you just know about the process or the thing. Skill is actually something that you can do, something that you can execute on. Here's the problem, most people collect knowledge like they're collecting Pokemon cards, or they just get high on knowing everything. They read books, watch videos, take courses, but they never convert that knowledge into an actual capability. And that is where the most difference happen. While rich people do the exact opposite of that, they focus on developing skills, they acquire knowledge and they convert those knowledge into skills so that they can produce measurable results. And here's the key, the skills compound over a time. Think about it like this, a doctor doesn't get paid for knowing about the surgery, they get paid for actually performing the surgery. A lawyer doesn't get rich from reading the law books, they get rich from understanding those law books and using all that knowledge to win the case. An entrepreneur doesn't make money from business knowledge, they make money from executing those knowledge to grow and make the business that they are running profitable. The pattern is very clear here. Skills pay, knowledge doesn't. And here's what's beautiful about skills, once you develop them, nobody can take them away from you. They become a part of who you are. The market can crash, your job can disappear, your business can fail, but your skills, they stay with you wherever you go. And the best thing about is they grow with you also. First skill, selling without selling. The number one skill that creates wealth is the ability to influence people ethically. Notice I didn't say sales, I said influence. Here's the difference. Salespeople try to convince you to buy something. Influencer help you realize you already want it. Every successful entrepreneur I have worked with had mastered this skill. They can present ideas in a way that makes people say yes naturally. But here's what most people get wrong about this skill. They think it's about manipulation or being pushy. It's not. Real influence comes from 3 things. First, understanding what people actually want, not what they say they want. People say they want to lose weight. What they actually want is to feel confident. People say they want more money. What they actually want is freedom. Second, showing them how your solution connects to what they want. This is not about features and benefits. It's about the transformation. How will their life be different after using your solution or offer? Third, making it easy for them to say yes. Remove friction, eliminate risk, make the next step very obvious. Here's how to develop the skill. Study successful presentations on YouTube. Practice explaining complex idea with simple words and simple tonality. Learn to ask better questions. Focus on outcomes, not the process. The reality is, if you can't influence people, you can't create wealth, because wealth comes from other people saying yes to your ideas. Second skill, systems thinking. Rich people don't just solve problems, they solve problems permanently. This is called systems thinking, and it's the difference between making money once and making money repeatedly. Here's what I mean. Poor thinking thinking, I need to make $5,000 this month. Rich thinking, I need to build a system that generates $5,000 every month. The difference is massive. When you solve a problem once, you get paid once. When you build a system that solves the problem, you get paid forever. Here are examples of system thinking. Instead of trading time for money, create products that sell while you sleep. Instead of doing everything yourself, build processes that others can follow. Instead of handling problems manually, create workflows that prevent that problem from happening or reduces the probability. McDonald's is the perfect example for this. They did not just create a good burger, they created a system that produces identical burger in 40,000 different locations worldwide. This system is now more valuable than the product itself. Here's how to develop systems thinking. First, ask how can I do this once but benefit forever? Every time you solve a problem, look for ways to systemize the solution. Second, document everything you do. Create processes, checklists, and workflows. This turns your knowledge into transferable systems. Third, look for pattern in successful business studies. How companies scale, what system do they use? Fourth, think in terms of leverage. How can you multiply your efforts, technology, people, or money? The wealthy people understand this. Your time is limited, but systems can work 24/7. Third skill is emotional regulation. Here's a skill nobody talks about it. Rich people are masters of their own emotions. They don't let fear, greed, or panic drive their decisions. And this single skill is worth millions. Think about it. How many people sell their investment at worst possible time because of fear? How many entrepreneurs quit right before their breakthrough because of doubt? How many people avoid starting businesses because they're afraid of failure? Emotions are very expensive. Rich people have learned to separate emotions from decisions. They feel the fear, but they don't let fear make the choice. They experience doubt, but they don't let doubt stop the progress. And here's the difference. Average person feels scared and stop taking action, while a rich person feels scared but takes action anyway. This skill shows up everywhere in negotiation. They don't get emotional when someone says no. In investment, they don't panic when markets drop. In business, they don't quit when things get difficult. In opportunities, they don't let perfectionism prevent progress. Here's how to develop emotional regulation. First, recognize your emotional pattern. What triggers your fear, your anger, your doubt? Awareness is the first step. Second, create decision-making frameworks. Don't make important decisions when you are emotional. Have criteria you can follow. Set rules that you have to absolutely follow when you make important decisions. Third, practice stress inoculation. Gradually expose yourself to uncomfortable situations. Build your tolerance up. Fourth, focus on progress, not on outcomes. You can't control the results, but you can control your action. The reality is this: wealth building requires making decisions when you don't feel like making one. Emotional regulation is the skill that makes this possible. Fourth skill, pattern recognition. Wealthy people see opportunities that others miss, not because they are smarter, but because they have trained themselves to recognize these patterns. Here's what I mean. While everyone else sees individual events, rich people see trend. While everyone else reacts to what's happening now, rich people predicts what's coming next. This skill is how Warren Buffett spots undervalued companies. Real estate investors find emerging markets. Tech entrepreneurs identify market gaps. Traders predict price movement. They are all doing the same thing, recognizing patterns that others cannot see. Here are the patterns wealthy people look for. First, problem problems that are getting bigger. Every growing problem is a growing opportunity. For example, aging population, healthcare opportunities, remote work is equal to collaboration tool opportunities. Second, technologies that are getting cheaper. When something expensive becomes affordable, massive market opens up. This is how Uber, Ola, Airbnb and Netflix were born. Third, behaviors that are changing. People's habit create new markets. For example, social media, food delivery, streaming entertainment. The key insight is this: opportunities are not random. They follow predictable patterns. Learn to see these patterns and you will see opportunities everywhere. Fifth skill is value creation. The ultimate wealth building skill is creating value for other people. This sounds very obvious and I know that, but most people get it completely backward. Here's what I mean by that. They think, how can I make more money, when they should be thinking, how can I provide more value to my client? Because here's the bitter truth: money is just a scoreboard for value creation. The more value you create, the more money you make. It's that simple. But what does value creation actually mean? Value is created when you first solve problems people actually have. Second, save people time or money. Third, make people's life easier or better. Fourth, help people achieve their outcomes or goals faster. Here are some examples of value creation. Netflix eliminated the hassle of going to video stores. Uber made the transportation more convenient. Amazon brought shopping to your doorstep. Google organized the world's information at your fingertip. Each of these companies became wealthy by creating massive value for millions of people. Here's how to develop your value creation skill. First, study your market very deep. What frustrates people? What do they complain about? What do they wish existed today? Second, focus on outcomes, not features. People don't buy products, they buy better versions of themselves. Third, test and iterate quickly. Create a small version of your solution, launch it, get feedback, and then improve. Fourth, scale what works. Once you have created value for one person, figure out how you can create the same value for 100 people, then 1,000 people, then 10,000 people. The beautiful thing about value creation is the market will pay you exactly what you are worth. Create more value, earn more money. Create less value, you will earn less money. Now let's talk about how to develop the skills. You know the 5 skills, but knowing the skills is not enough. You need to develop them. You can start practicing them one by one depending on your preference. But the key is to remember this: it takes time. You need to be patient with the results. You might not see any difference for weeks, but stay consistent because all of your effort will compound and produce results soon. Pick one skill and focus on it for 90 days. Master one before moving to the next skill. Why? Because developing skills require time. Most people try to develop everything at once and end up developing nothing. So please don't be the most people. Now let me tell you about the compound effect of the skills if you're gonna develop them or gonna practice them. What makes these 5 skills incredibly powerful is that they compound. The more you develop them, the more valuable you become. The more valuable you become, the more opportunities you see. The more opportunities you see, the more wealth you can create. Think about it like this: year 1, you develop the basic influence skill. Year 2, you use those skills to build system. Year 3, you regulate emotions while recognizing patterns. Year 4, you create massive value using all those previous skills. Year 5, you are wealthy. Did you notice it took you 5 years to actually be wealthy? So things take time. Let me give an example for this also. If I tell you right now, get up and run a marathon which is like 50 to 60 kilometer long, and you need to win it, you need to be ranker in it, what are the chances that you can achieve that? You might just faint at 10 or 15 kilometers if by running continuously. You lack the capabilities, you lack the skill set, you lack the needed training for that. So the chances of achieving rank or completing winning the marathon is very close to none. So what do you do to win the marathon? You develop the skill, you develop the capabilities, and then you actually start running the marathon. So the chances of you winning and completing the marathon increases very drastically. So develop these 5 skills if you want to be wealthy. And good thing about this 5 skills is each skill builds on the others. But here's what most people do instead: they chase tactics, they look for shortcuts, they buy courses promising them overnight success, that they would be millionaire if they just follow the whole training. They never develop the fundamental skills that create lasting wealth. The difference between rich and poor is not luck, it's not even the timing or the connection, it's the skill development. Rich people invest in capabilities that compound over time. Poor people invest in overnight rich schemes or overnight rich promises that promise immediate results. Which approach do you think works better? Let me rephrase the question again. Do you have a higher chances of winning the marathon if you have training, if you have the skills for it, if you have the capabilities for it, or if you just watch a tutorial on YouTube and then you run the marathon? Which one do you think have a higher chances of you winning the marathon? The answer would tell you where to focus if you want to be wealthy, whether you want to develop your skill or you want to watch a training and just follow the whole thing. Let me leave you with this. Every successful entrepreneur that you know started exactly where you are right now. They didn't have any special advantage. They didn't know any secret. They didn't get the lucky breaks. They just developed skills that directly create wealth. So your action plan should be: first, pick one skill from today's video. Second, commit to developing it for 90 days. Third, practice it every single day. Fourth, track your progress. Fifth, apply it to your business so that you can see real world results to improve. Remember, skills are the only investment that pays dividends forever. The market can crash, your job can disappear, your business can fail, but nobody can take away your ability to influence. Think systematically, regulate your emotion, recognize patterns, and create value. These skills will make you wealthy no matter what happens in the economy. So start today, pick one skill, and begin building the capabilities that will change your life. If this video helped you understand what actually creates wealth, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content that focuses on what actually works. And remember, stop chasing secrets and shortcuts. Start building your skills.